your daily dose of Big D energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy,
Big D!
Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal, Ruhl, that guy over there, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. In the house, we got JB Smooth on the ones and twos, and of course, Racks on Racks on Racks. Spencer Rackster is here today. One half of the Woodward Heavyweights, 5 to 7 p.m. All of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, jump into there, get your thoughts out there. And hey, we're going to chop it up. We got a lot of stuff to get to it. And D-Mac, it's going to get spirited, I think, in the beginning because,
what happened?
Well, we saw some trades made yesterday in the NHL. Spencer's crushed.
No, I wouldn't say crushed.
He thinks it's over. He thinks the Red Wings. He's taken the car flag down.
Car flag, yeah.
He's just gotten rid of it. He threw it in the closet. He's like, I'll see this in another decade. Yeah. And he slammed the closet door. Spencer's out. It's over. The run is over. Is that about right, Spenny?
No, that is not.
Well, okay.
That is not accurate.
I don't even sense as much disdain or uncomfortableness when the Lions didn't get Chase Young and Spenny went off for that. So I don't.
Not even close.
Not even close. And here's the thing: if we're talking about, and you brought it up, Spenny, you knew that he was going to get moved. We're talking about defenseman Tanev. Brandon Tanev?
Chris Tanev.
Chris Tanev is his brother. In Calgary, defenseman, guy, 2-3 defenseman. 34 years old, was a guy that I'm sure Steve Yzerman was looking at, but three-way deal made between Jersey and Dallas where they sent a second or fourth rounder, young guy, and I just think that the price tag was too high. You see the moves being made now when you have 2 weeks or so left in the trade deadline are the desperate teams. Now I look deeper into this and I look at Dallas, who in the West are in their window. Definitely a guy that Tanev's gonna help their team, but who's the GM there? Jim Neal. Why is that important? Because Jim Neal was the assistant GM here under Kenny Holland, but him and Steve Yzerman, that's who Steve Yzerman sort of worked with and learned under the most. So I think it's just a case where, yeah, it would have been nice to add that defenseman, but it wasn't the make or break, and it still tells me that Stevie likes more of what he's got, even if it's in the minors, than going out and making that deal and hindering himself. Because I think that's, Neal, when we always talk about Steve Yzerman, it's the invisible stuff, the salary cap, the draft picks, stuff like this. That's what he wheels and deals with, and I didn't think he'd want to give up his power.
No, and we'll get into that, certainly. And there's also the stuff, too, where the more I hear about it around town, there's going to be a pseudo meltdown coming in the opening segment.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Yeah, in about 10 minutes. Because I've had enough, D-Mac.
Oh, enough.
Because I've had enough.
Enough?
Yeah.
Oh, by you?
Yeah, just like the talk around town and, some of the people, when they talk about Brad Holmes, when they talk about Steve Yzerman and stuff like that.
What people? Idiots.
People. Just
Idiots.
people.
No, not the one. You're never going to satisfy them. Right? They're never going to satisfy. It ain't for them.
No, but I like it because here's where Spencer Rackster becomes a
That's
great.
what Beth calls me.
Spency becomes a great buffer here because he's a part of that crowd. He's aware of that crowd. He has one foot in that crowd and 1 foot in our crowd too. Spencer's a man of the people, and it's going to be a good barometer. And I want to have the discussion and it involves Holmes and it involves Steve Yzerman, and we're going to get there coming up in about 10 minutes. But the other thing I wanted to get to, D-Mac, and Spencer, feel free because I know you have feelings on this as well. This whole Fanatics jersey thing for Major League Baseball.
What's going on? By the way, spectacular outfit today.
No, thank you.
I mean, you're so dialed in. Like
this is my El Mago outfit right here. Because
I've
been told El Mago's back.
Tribute here by Neal Ruhl.
Yeah, exactly.
But we were talking earlier that people are on Fanatics jerseys because they look see-through and
yeah, you can see the dongers. You can see their dongers when they bend over.
That's why I wanted to bring Spency into the conversation because he has a way
whole bunch of baseball dongers running around out there.
Yeah.
Spencer has a way of illustrating things in a way that everyone can understand them, and that's pretty much the story. Like, but it's become fashionable to I guess say, Fanatics, it's become fashionable to rip on Fanatics. Like, that's the thing. They've crossed the bridge now on social media.
Here's the thing.
See, right here, on cue, Detroit Dabber 313, Fanatics, garbage company, garbage products.
See, the players, I will give Fanatics this. The players did want lighter baseball uniforms. Like, they wanted more breathable. But I don't know if they just wanted their meat print out to the world. I don't know if that might have been taking it too far, but they did ask for lighter, more breathable baseball uniforms.
Shit, we're going to have to put the baseball on the meat missiles.
Yeah.
Get your Woodward Sport meat missile baseball shirts now. Comfortability and baseball uniforms, you're talking the whole uniforms, so you're talking a little bit different than, hockey jerseys.
Yeah, but that was going to be my question.
We've come through different renditions, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had a Fanatics, but Nike, Reebok, CCM.
Was there any of them that you liked and other ones that you didn't like?
So the older... Yes, as you
It was CCM when you started, right?
Yes, CCM, which were the best. And those are the old school, and a lot of this people don't understand is that, so your jersey would be, mine was altered, right? So you could alter it. Mine was altered with sewing, so the arms were bigger, so my elbow pads come out, the sleeves were shorter, so for fighting and stuff like that. I wore a 56, which was a bigger
That's big, yeah.
one, right, like this. I guess if you grab the biggest difference, and to explain to the audience out there, is just, it's like that it's more of an old school blanket, right? It's sort of not a shawl. Like, that's what they turned into. They turned into shawls, but they used to be a good blanket. Like, there's some texture to it. They would get hot, stuff like this. Then they evolved into the Nike, which were good. The ones you didn't like, as it got into Reebok, they got more sleek and slender and stuff like this, were more skin tight or more form-fitting, as they call it. Didn't like those as much, but I liked everything flopping around, but I was always trying to get out of it. So, there is the old school CCM. When you see that, and when you see, if you're like, next time you're at LCA or you're walking around, you see jerseys, like, you can go up and look at them, because you can really tell, like, somebody comes up to me to get a jersey from pre-2000 signed. I mean, there's a big difference.
Yeah, and I wondered that if there were like
but there is
some
comfortability, but no, we never had to worry about. We wore pants. We need protection down there. So, is there backlash to that because because a lot of the times too, right? You said that the baseball players, the athlete, wanted it lighter, so they're looking more for comfort. Does anybody ask them, are they like comfortable? Because
I haven't heard. Have you heard any? I haven't heard any players complain.
I have not heard any players complain.
It's just been fans.
Yeah, just looking at the meat, the fans are not loving that.
Yeah, because it looks as though, like, if it ever rains and they get wet.
Oh yeah,
it's just like a Daytona at spring break at the
yeah.
Hooters. You know, like.
But opposite.
D-Mac, yeah.
But opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. Tammy Chin says, I have an Yzerman CCM jersey. I do as well. Way back in the closet there, I have one as well. Steve O'Baby, I used to have a starter Steve Yzerman jersey back in the day. Yeah, so I was just curious if there were jerseys that you guys had that you were like, I hate those, or I like these over those.
No, they just got the more that as time went on, the more custom fitting and stuff like that, the sleeker and
I would do some nasty things for a Lidstrom Nike jersey. That'd be sick.
I have the
the jersey has nothing to do with that comment right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dabber 313. It's been a conversation amongst hockey fans for years. Neal, you're just hearing about it because of baseball. No, Dabber, like I knew the Adidas thing. When they went to Adidas, people had a lot to say, and I don't know if it just was because you don't think of, is Adidas even in hockey? Because remember, like when Nike in Sergei's day, Nike did the skates and did the jerseys, obviously. So they had like equipment. What hockey equipment does Adidas have other than the jersey? Like, it never made sense to me.
Right. That makes sense.
Todd Saint says, talk about meat missiles. Okay.
Speaking of meat missiles,
you go.
Speaking of jerseys, we talked about it on Heavyweights yesterday. Heavyweights 5 to 7. Check it out.
Shout out.
Red Wings are announcing their first sponsor patch today. So,
that's right.
Yeah. I think it's going to be UDM or UWM. Other ones we were talking, maybe Meyer.
They never had a sponsor patch?
Mm-mm.
That's just the helmet.
Just on the helmets.
Just on the
Well, they have
helmet.
Meyer on the helmets, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You got Meyer on the helmet or UWM? Are you?
I heard it was going to be the Big D Energy logo. Is that true?
And
No.
cannot
That'd be
confirm nor deny.
No, because they would just use Ermanni and Edwards
Yeah.
in the afternoon if they were going to do that, right, JB Smooth?
Yeah, that's about right. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. We like facts here.
By the way, JB Smooth, what are you doing here today? You on like a rehab assignment or something like that? You got 2 games down in AA before you go back to the show?
I guess so. I don't know what happened. They just called me down, and you know what? I'm gonna support the boys. Huh?
He just wants a bobblehead, so we're gonna have a JB Smooth Big D Energy bobblehead
Yeah.
night.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick Williams, Fanatics, is terrible. See, you just bring it up.
Fanatics does kind of suck.
Fanatics
Not gonna
is
lie.
terrible though.
Is it because they're like the corporate conglomerate now?
It's just bad quality.
Yeah.
Fanatics taking over everything. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
they took
Trading
over
cards.
WWE.
Yeah, they're going to be they're going to oversee all the trading cards. I think they bought Topps or something like that, and yeah. I mean,
So
get
it's
used
about
to
time
it.
for the trading card industry to go again, right? You know how it
Possibly.
always does. It gets to this point, somebody tries to corner the market, and
I'll tell you what, the one patch I would be mad at is if it's Little Caesars. Because, that's just Chris Illich giving money to himself. And it's if you're going to give money to yourself anyways, just leave it off the sweater. Just leave the sweater how it is. But I'm sure it's going to be something cool. No, I'm just saying, I'm fine with the jersey patch.
Spenny.
I'm fine with the jersey patch, but if it's Little Caesars, it's kind of,
Old man Spenny.
it's kind of,
Spenny,
I don't know,
you heard
redundant.
about tax. You know something about tax implications,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
true.
about the right hand feeding the left
yeah.
hand
Yeah.
to go shaky, shaky, shaky.
that's fair.
You know,
Are you familiar with it?
if he does, then hopefully in the same breath they announce, finalization plans for District Detroit.
Yeah.
Right? Here's a Little Caesars splash, but District Detroit will be done before the Super. No.
WoodwardSports.com chat there. Let's go Red Wings Party. Seemed like it was a big price tag for it, 10 off.
Yeah.
Burgers is a better prospect than what Dallas gave Calgary, so that should soften the blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want and that's the thing, right? I think there's a bigger return, and I think that Stevie knows that, and Jonathan Burgers or whatever like that, and it just didn't play out for a rental, right? There's no years on this guy's contract. It just strictly be a rental, and this also tells me keep your ears peeled, because I think he's got his eye on somebody else.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Todd saying congrats on the national broadcast. Neal, thanks, Todd. I appreciate that. And then people piling on a little bit. Freddie felt nationwide. Neal. Yeah, so there it is.
Hell
Mr.
yeah.
Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, yeah, absolutely. It still feels the same, everybody. So I would imagine when they turn the cameras on, it's still going to be the exact same thing as it always is. No, but I appreciate you guys. Make sure you tap in. You don't have to watch it. Just turn your TV on the channel and then leave the room if you want, whatever's. We just need that rating point. That's all that we need. Tyler B, Mom Spaghetti logo.
I've
there.
never had Mom Spaghetti. I heard it's not good,
It
though.
is not great. I'm
Dude,
gonna tell you that
Mr.
right
Have you
now.
had it?
Yes.
It's the worst.
Terrible.
Mr. Chime Time gave it the worst food. It is.
Yeah.
It's you know what? I can make better out of the thing. Even M&M says it's garbage.
Yeah, I heard they tried to get it to taste like leftovers. That's the whole
That's the point of
shtick.
it?
Yeah, is that it's supposed
Like,
to
you know
taste
when
like
it would be good? 3
drunk as
a.m.
hell.
hammered.
Well, that's
Or
their
high
deal,
as
right?
hell.
Because they have the walk-up window or
Yeah.
whatever. That's their deal, right?
Yeah, I've never had it.
Okay. All right. We got to have the conversation. I got to ask you guys what you want, because it's on the
I
show
want
sheet.
it
And again,
all.
I'm not mad at Spenny, because
I want it all.
Spenny's learned his lessons, I
want
think.
it now.
Are you guys done? Are you guys done? Tell them about Lady Jane's. D-Mac.
Absolutely. Come to Lady Jane's Haircut for Men for award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. All expense paid suite for the 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right. No expense spared for you in 5. Yes, 5 your best. But what do you got to do? You got to get to Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week, walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss. With Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights. Live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. You can beat us. That's right, Big D Energy at the Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment. Myself, D-Mac, will be live next Tuesday, March 5th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come to the Suburban Collection Showplace, easy for me to say, 46100 Grand River Avenue in Novi. Stop by, say hi, talk Detroit sports, and of course the latest products, technologies, and services from all the exhibitors, including lawn and landscaping equipment, heavy duty equipment, snow equipment, trucks, irrigation, water features, absolutely everything in and around your yard will be on display. The Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment and Big D Energy. We'll see you out there Tuesday, March 5th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right, we're off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl and D-Mac and Spencer Raxter. And JB Smoove, he's on assignment. He's on a rehab assignment. He'll be back at the primetime shows later, right, JB Smoove? Right?
Oh, yeah, you can catch me back on E&E a little bit later.
Hey, you know what?
As soon as I get the hell out of here.
It's like he's down in Western Michigan. That's where I'm headed later today.
Yeah?
With Joey.
Yeah, what do you got
Kosher.
going on?
Going over to the Founders Brewery. I was asking you guys earlier. Spenny said he's never been to GR.
That's absurd.
That is absurd.
You got to do a weekend, Spenny.
Yeah, that you'd have fun, dude.
Get a room downtown
That would be cool.
and go put in work.
Yeah.
You love all those craft beers.
Yeah,
and
I've
stuff.
never been to Grand Rapids. That'd be cool. I've always wanted to go to Bell's.
Beer City, man.
Yeah.
Beer City for a reason. All right, WoodwardSports.com, chat thread. Paul Thomas, Mom Spaghetti is so bad. That's why it ended up in a Eminem song. Lots of people crushing Mom Spaghetti, which I don't understand. Todd saying it's spaghetti with ketchup. I've never had it, so I
I haven't had it either.
can't draw an opinion on it. I won't let like a internet reviewer shape my opinion of something. So
You know what
don't
I haven't had in a while that I'm trying to have soon? Slows. I haven't been to Slows.
Ooh.
I love Slows.
Slows is good.
You get the 3-meat platter. Oh, man.
Griffin McCarty's favorite right
Yeah.
there. He's in
My
town
favorite
for a while.
barbecue place is actually Lazy Bones.
I heard Lazy Bones is really good.
Is the best
Where's
in the
Lazy
game.
Bones?
Yeah.
It's 11 6 mile or 696 and 11 mile Groesbeck, 11 and Groesbeck, right off 696.
Wow.
Great spot, best barbecue spot in the game.
Wow. All right.
St. Louis ribs are incredible.
Well, that's something that you're not upset about, but there is something that, you wanted to bring to the people's attention.
DNC ENT Neal, I got cooked last night defending your Amon-Ra St. Brown equals Justin Jefferson take. I got cooked by a lot of people, but we'll see, won't we? That's you know what the great thing is? We'll see. We'll see.
There's no question, 100%. And
Who do I give my money to?
Jefferson, right? Who do I give the money? Justin Jefferson. Yeah, he's got like Tariq Hill-ish things, but I'm giving that money every day, all day to Amon-Ra St. Brown because I know what comes with it, and it's the person.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to get into this because Spenny had the question. He said, "Do you believe Steve Yzerman will make an addition at the deadline?"
Steve at the line.
And yesterday, obviously, we saw the Dallas Stars
Fucking
kind of
on
make
with
a
it,
move. And
I'm strong enough now. Do you believe it's Steve at the line?
Yeah. Can he make a trade that's worth something without giving up his future guy? Anyways.
all right. No, but all right. So here's the deal, guys. And I've heard this around town, and I've heard others in this industry that are in this town that do this, that flat out pound the table and say Steve Yzerman needs to make a move. He's got to strike. He's got to strike. He's got to do something now. I've heard people pound the table and say Brad Holmes has to go out and make this huge move in free agency. Guys, I wanted to tell you all this, all right? Sports has changed. I know it's been a decade since we've been relevant in anything, so maybe this has passed us by. But you know how things work now? Things work the way Brad Holmes does it. Things work the way Steve Yzerman does it. A, you know how I know? A, you see it playing out right now. And B, when you look around, how do you get good in sports now, especially when you've been bad? Do you just roll out and spend $150 million on 3 free agents? No, that's proven time after time after time. It doesn't work. I know it's not sexy, and I know not everybody, we've been so fantasy draft conditioned. I know it doesn't get you clicks, and it doesn't get people to tune in and stuff like that. But guys, again, I've always said, I'm going to be honest with you. This is how it works now. This is how it works. Draft capital, draft picks, replenishing your roster, keeping it rolling. That's the way it goes. Draft picks are valuable. Everybody, cap space is valuable. I know you don't want to hear that. Like, that's not fun. I understand that. But that is the way that it works. Look around. The Kansas City Chiefs, for instance, and everyone will say, well, look at Mahomes, big dollars, and look at Travis Kelce, big dollars. How did the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? How did they do it? Last 2 years.
They let one of their best guys go that they didn't think they needed, Tyreek Hill, and they re-signed and paid for the Chris Jones and stuff like that, their guy, but through the draft. Everybody else,
their secondary,
yeah.
which is all what? Draft picks and homegrown. That's how you win, everybody. That's how you win. I know it's not sexy and you don't like it, but I'm sorry, I got nothing else to offer you.
You know what, the one thing I think, and this is, you'll be proud of me, because I learned this from you, is the consistency, what Brad Holmes and Steve Yzerman realized before any of us does. Now it's more second nature. But you got to get the books right first, right? If you don't get your books right first, make it then going through the draft and doing all this and having a game plan really doesn't matter. Then you're just sort of plugging and playing, and all these free agents that we see some other teams sign, you're still in that position. So what did both these guys do? Pretty much sacrificed a year or two and panning it out, right? Like, as far as saying, okay, now I can move forward. So like demolishing and cleaning out, the basement level instead of just building the floor up. They cleaned it out. They both did. And you've made it more apparent because now they can move forward. Now they don't have bad contracts. Now they have the choice, like Brad Holmes does, to re-sign his own guys or whatever. Now he's getting more into the meat and potatoes of it. But Steve Yzerman, that's what he's done. Look at this roster. When we talk wings later, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show all of you something, which is the most transparent. When I saw it this morning, I was like, wow. Smack me in the face. But that's what's happening. And these guys are building for these guys. The one thing you have to listen to, they don't give a shit what we think, right? They're building it the way they want. When it comes to Steve Yzerman and the Chris Tanev, we're sitting here going, is this a guy that could help us? Yes. Is this going to be our guy? Steve says, no. Okay, move on. He's probably got another guy, or the guy's here. Brad Holmes the same way. How confident are you, GM, right? Coming off the last season, you got the draft here. You got all eyes on you and your team coming up at this draft. And you come out with all the confidence in the world saying, I could trade out. I don't, got to do what's best for the team. Full grasp of what he needs to do. To me, that's what it is. So wherever the money goes from these guys making the decision, I don't care.
My point of it is this. Anybody that pounds a table and says, you have to go get Daniil Hunter, or you have to go make a big move if you're Brad Holmes, or if you're Steve, you have to make a big trade. You don't believe that. I'm of that opinion. Like, you honestly don't believe that, because look at all the data that you've been presented with. It's going just fine. And if you want to say like, well, Neal, you're just, you're a Brad Holmes lemming or stuff like that. Like, what more data do you need? For real, what more data do you need?
Who else are you going to be a lemming for than Brad Holmes and Steve Yzerman? It's like, God bless. they have the game plan to the fact that here's the one thing, Neal. What do I always say? Steve Yzerman's going to give you exactly what you want when he wants to. These guys are on their own, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Red Wings, whatever it is.
Paul Thomas, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. We need one more defenseman, in my opinion, to help Sider, like a Simon Edvinsson type. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. You guys are right. But do you not think that who knew that before any of us? Steve Yzerman and Brad Holmes and Steve Yzerman. Here's the thing. They're not in a hurry to make a move. They're in a hurry to make the right move. That's exactly what it is. So you know what? We can have as much impatience as fans as we want, and we can talk about this and run around with our chickens with our head cut off. It ain't going to change what's going on there. And the sooner you realize that, then you can worry about something else.
So, Spenny, I go to you.
Yeah.
And again,
Yes.
you're on both sides of this coin. You are. You're on both sides of the coin.
I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top.
And that's a smart man. That's a smart man that does that.
Yeah.
But you're one of the few reasonable people of that side.
Mm-hmm.
You'll listen and you'll talk and you'll conversate and stuff like that. When you hear me say what I just said there, what goes through your mind?
I mean, I agree with it for sure with Steve Yzerman. With the Brad Holmes one, I was expecting a move because I thought they were right there for the Super Bowl, and so you make a move to enhance your odds for that. That's why I was so upset by it. The Steve Yzerman one, no, I have full and utmost faith in Stevie and what he's doing. If he doesn't make a move, he's not going to make a move. And you look at the defensemen we have in the prospect pool, whether it's Edvinsson or Johansson or Wallander or Palinka, like those guys are all going to be good. And obviously they're all not going to work out because that's not just how hockey works. Like you're not going to go 4 for 4 on great defensive prospects you got down there, but they all look like they're going to be pretty damn good. They're all big. They all can do a lot of things, and Edvinsson could come up right now and be a jolt to this team.
Hey, Spenny, here, I'm going to, for everybody else, because who brought it up? Oh, dang it. Silky Johnson, I think, brought it up. Axel Pelkin,
Yeah.
the Swedish kid
Yeah.
that we drafted first round last year, defenseman.
He's a freak.
So there's your guy, right? You don't need the tandem guy. Like, yes, next year, like you got a bunch of guys, and I think it's the confidence in their development and stuff. Like, did not Edvinsson score overtime winner last night?
He did, and I have a video of Neal calls him like my guy. Edvinsson's my guy. This is why Edvinsson is my guy. Like, watch this. He just absolutely obliterates. And first of all, look at how much bigger the Griffins are than this team. Like, they're just so much bigger. And then Edvinsson just says, "Hey, sit down, bud."
Yeah.
Just takes him out.
Your time with the puck is over.
And look how big Kosa is. Yeah. Kosa's bigger than their powerful. Like,
Listen.
The Griffins their pipeline is, oh my God, it's flush. And this is what I want. This is what I need. Just get out of here, bud. Take a seat. Like, oh my God.
And then he goes on to score the overtime
and then
winner.
he scores the OT winner. Like,
See, Spenny, you got to go to Grand Rapids, take in a Griffins game, and get out in those streets.
I guess it's a lot easier, right, to accept it being Steve Yzerman in the path and stuff like this, having a minor league team and going, guys, relax. They're developing. Look at how these guys are playing down there, and the guy that's gonna replace might be down there. We know that. We've seen it in the past. I've experienced it, been part of it. Guys getting called up, for playoff runs. Justin Applicator, Darren Helm. Back from when I, in 08 and stuff like that. They're different guys. So you don't know what the game plan is.
David Sparkman, Sneed for a second would be great though. But David, you got to remember, man, like it's not just that. So when you do a move like that, and maybe he is, and maybe Brad Holmes values him this way. But in that scenario, you're giving up $100 million, maybe more, and the second round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that value? Mm-hmm. Is that value in the move? For real, is it value? And that's the question. And like, sure, I know what PFF says and all that kind of stuff. But again, going back to it, is Brad better served with that second round pick and $100 million of cap space, which in reality could pay for your entire draft class the next 6 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, really think about it.
And isn't it a question too, right? This might be a question if you haven't hit on draft picks, in the past. Like, you don't have that track record of drafting guys and them being able to come in and play. And the big thing, Neal, that it's the money, right? It's that rookie contract. That's the big sell. So the fact that that's got to come into play to Brad Holmes. So it's not as easy as this, I want this player and I'll spend this money and stuff like that. So, again, you got to trust in the guy. He hits on draft picks, so let him cook.
Ryan Long, Neal just caught up with the podcast from yesterday, which you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast, the Big D Energy, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. Yesterday, you got undue hate. You had a great top 5 cheese list. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No, you
Thank you,
didn't.
Ryan Long.
It was terrible.
No, thank you, Ryan Long. I appreciate it. You know what else is great? Guardian Alarm.
Absolutely.
They're great.
Way better than your cheese list.
Especially if you let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians. Take time to recommend security and automated solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as is needed. But I need you to call the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Business, pleasure. Guardian doesn't care. Just give them a call. 1-800.
Stay out. You better stay out of the box, Islanders, because you got one of the best power plays in the league.
Stay out of the win column tonight, Islanders. It's a big one. 4-point game, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Don't forget, Woodward Sports Network will be live out there from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi next Monday, I believe, as that falls out on the calendar. Again, Feldman Chevy will be out there next Monday, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. And word around the campfire, Spenny, we have some breaking NHL news.
Yeah, Gunsel was just traded to Florida. Let me find the post again. He just got traded to the Panthers. Damn it, where did it go? But it was for a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a first-round pick. And Pittsburgh retained 50% of his salary, and then Chicago got a fifth-round pick to take 25% of his salary.
Okay, gotcha. So Chicago bought a draft pick, and the Penguins did what I wanted the Tigers to do, and they're in the whole Justin Verlander deconstruction, and Alavila actually did the opposite. You eat the money to pay for the draft picks, and that's what Pittsburgh did. So good deal by Pittsburgh right there. They get a first, a second, and a third. And good for them. That's the way you do business.
Win-win all around, right?
Seems to be, yes.
It just brings something to my attention that there's a different level, because look at all these deals that are made. They're 3-team deals. So there's got to be more than just two GMs talking. There's got to be three GMs.
Yeah, Chicago
talking.
took 25% of the salary and got a draft pick to do it.
Right. There's more conversation to it. So are we part of these talks? I gotta think so. I gotta think Steve Yzerman, but it's the fact that he just too much, right? All these deals. That's a lot. Still, that's a lot.
That's a lot,
right? Unless you're Florida, who again got to the finals last year and they're thinking they're real close too. So you got to like that move. They're planning on winning.
No, and
he's going to help them.
With Florida, this is the piece that gets them over the top.
Right. Yeah. So if we're, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, that piece that gets you over the top, that's when you're going to make that move. Just shows you you're just not there yet, but also too, you like what you got. Mm-hmm. A lot of the same things as with the Lions. They like their own guys. That's and that's tough. Steve Yzerman's the toughest guy to impress.
Kalamazoo says Florida just became deadly with that trade. Kalamazoo, they were deadly already.
Yeah, they're already deadly.
Yeah.
What are they, 9-1 in their last 10? I mean, come on. This is what great teams do.
They were my pick before this trade to win the Cup. And I do think that they're going to do that.
They got to be, obviously everybody's like, well, what's Toronto going to do and stuff like this? But Florida's proven it.
They went through Toronto very easily last year as an underdog. They went through them very, very easily. So yeah, the Panthers re-solidified themselves, and I just think too that further drives the point home that as Red Wing fans, I want no part of the problems the Florida Panthers present. And I'm getting that way very, very quickly with the Rangers as well. They may never lose again either.
You know what?
No way.
You're going to have to figure out a way. Sometimes the only way out is through.
It is not confirmed yet. The post got deleted by the NHL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, NHL's Instagram deleted the post.
Really? The league, huh? All right, well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. People in the chat want to know, Spenny, Lorena Rios, he asked your dad, did he ever call your son Spency?
No, he used to call me Pooj, and my mom called me Peach.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I was chubby, and I had buzz cut my whole life.
Well, before, you can see that, Spenny probably had some peach fuzz before he grew into, the
peach fuzz for sure.
Neanderthal he is. Spency.
Damn, that's crazy.
That is. Dan Wood, correct, Neal, 100% what Alavila should have done. Yeah, but Dan, I think that came from the top, though. But don't do that to me.
I wonder what happened.
Don't do that to me. I don't want to hear that. So I don't want to get into it. Nick Williams, don't be surprised when Yzerman buys a draft pick. Could be.
It's got room. You only got 1 point.
I'm looking at it right now.
You say yesterday they had
1.7 million. I wanted to say 1.74 million in cap space. So yes, very easily they could be compensated to help facilitate a trade. Very easily. You can do both, everybody. You can be a playoff contender, and history is riddled with examples of this whole trade deadline madness where it worked and it didn't work.
Absolutely.
We talked about it. The early 2000s Red Wings didn't do a lot at the trade deadline.
Well, or I remember the big, we made the big move, Chelly, Wendell Clark, Steve Thomas, stuff like that. So always
didn't win that year, but then won the next year.
Yeah, a couple of years.
A couple of years ago, yeah. So there's tons of examples of it. So yeah, we'll continue to effort that. But that does show you too. That kind of tells you the writing on the wall. That kind of tips the cards of the Penguins a little bit, doesn't it?
So the Red Wings announced their
they're sellers, right?
Yeah.
Red Wings announced their patch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Priority. I think it's a maintenance company or a
health company,
sanitation company.
Oh, Priority Waste.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's who does the garbage up in the township.
Mm-hmm.
Aha! Oh, wow.
So I'm helping finance that deal.
They got money if they're doing it in Washington Township, ladies and gentlemen.
I like them because they do mulch year round.
Ooh.
Jimmy D. Bringing in the paisans of a waste management company, take care of some dead bodies. I love it.
Priority Waste. So there you go. I'll have to tell my wife that. She'll say I don't care. Is that why the garbage is expensive?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually pretty funny. But yeah, I think that kind of tells you what the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be all about here as we get down towards the end. I think they're going to bite the bag and step out the door, huh, D-Mac?
Yeah, no, that's the way it looks.
They sit with 62 points right now. They're 7 points back.
Hey, Spenny.
But they got 5 games in hand, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, but in this league, you'd rather have those points banked, right?
True.
Stuff like this. So, again, you nailed it before the break. Another 4-point game, just like it was against Washington the other day. We nailed this last week coming up to these games with the imperativeness of setting yourself up. And you set yourself up even better having, 6-game win streak. So don't let the Islanders get in the way of that. And you know what? You need any more inspiration? Look who's behind their bench.
Nick Williams also. The Penguins.
Patrick Waugh. Yeah.
The Penguins remind me of the Red Wings before Yzerman took over. Yeah, except without, Franz Nielsen and Jimmy Howard, and who else was on that list?
Daniel
Alfredson.
Abby.
Justin Abdelkader.
Yeah.
Making $19 million of your $65 million cap, because that's what Yzerman walked into. Again. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Make sure you jump into there. But Nick said, yeah, the Penguins now remind me of the Wings before Yzerman took over. I guess there is some kind of vibes to that as well. So that could be the case. But yeah, when we come back, though, I do want to get into it because, again, we talk about the parallels between the Lions and the Red Wings. And I think the Red Wings have kind of the similar questions that the Lions have. And Spenny asked a question about it. Our guy DeMondre Moore will join us too, coming up about 11:58. We'll talk about the NFL Combine, you sickos. Somebody tweeted me yesterday. They said, am I a degenerate if I bet on this? And it was a DraftKings tweet that says the Combine lines are now up.
Yes. Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wow.
I know it's Combine time, everybody. Get in, man. Premier Pet Supply.
Premier Pet Supply. They got the best 40 time in all of the Combine. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers with one major difference. They are family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Hey guys, you tired of the same old Detroit sports wearables? We got that solved for you. WoodwardSports.com/shop. Hoodies, beanies. It's, face was still burning when I walked outside this morning. I know it was 72 degrees 2 days ago, but now we're back in that. So, hey, put the hoodie on. Put the beanie on. You're prepared for it. Get the Stoke Not Scared t-shirt. Get the Jack Campbell, Spencer Raxter themed Meat Missile shirt. It's all out there for you. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. There's a Woodward Sports golf line as well. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl and Darren McCarty and Spencer Raxter and JB Smooth here in the house. He's on a rehab assignment. He'll be back up in the majors soon. What is it, a hamstring, JB Smooth?
Yeah, it's a little hammy.
A little hammy? All right. Just a little stint on the 15-day DL. Retroactive back to February 22nd. All right. I got you. All of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, get in the chat. Tell us what you think. Priority Waste, the Red Wings' new patch jersey sponsors. A DNC ENT, I'm a gambling addict. Even I won't indulge in the combine degeneracy.
Yeah, but you look at the odds.
Yeah. I mean,
if they're there.
Hey, that's a flex on. There's nothing there I like. There's no bets there I like.
Yeah. Max Mayer says it's only an addiction if it's bad. So there's that out there as well. Soft Jones, I got $500 on the Red Wings winning the Cup to win $32,500. If they're offering a buyout, I would take a look at it right now. That's just me, though. That's just me.
Or wait till they make the playoffs.
Or that as well. All right, I did want to get into this, too. And Spencer put on the show sheet, and I think there are some... That's kind of like the theme today. The Red Wings and the Lions kind of running the same. Raymond and Cider. It's about that time, right, D-Mac? Like the...
Pay them.
It's time to pay them their money, right?
Yeah. They're your guys. I think that, you know what to expect out of Mo Sider. I think he showed you that last year, and his only, his maturation as your number one guy. It's right there. But it was Lucas Raymond, and he showed you in the offseason that he committed, put on more muscle, came back, and, is proving you right. So to me, these are two of your guys. They're two of your key components. If you're looking at guys that you're going to lock up, you just locked up Rasmussen. These are two of the other guys you got to look that you're going to spend that money on. And here's the thing. You're not going to have to break the bank. And it's not saying the hometown discount, but you're going to get fair market value.
And just for the records, they are still restricted free agents, and by definition, that means they belong to an NHL team. And that team has certain levels of protection. The only team that can sign an RFA with a standard player contract is one that owns that player's rights. Other teams are eligible to sign RFAs, but only via offer sheets. So, that's a long way of saying they're not going anywhere. Like that's what that means. But again, is it because we always hear about Mo Sider, right? Like Norris Trophy's loading. Where is Mo Sider in the pantheon right now of NHL defensemen right now?
Probably 10, 12, 8 to 12.
So a bona fide top 15 defenseman in the league right now.
Yeah, he's a guy you're building around. As one of the young guys to have a choice. For a defenseman, like I've always used a comparison, and I continue to use a comparison, is that the guy that I see him being like is Victor Hedman. That's, the backbone of that Tampa Bay dynasty. So he's still learning, because we mentioned it the other day. You look at the little things that he's learning to do, even as a top guy. Blocking shots, still being physical and stuff like this, and still being able to contribute offensively. It's playing those minutes and learning how to play those minutes in every situation, power play, penalty kill, all this that you've seen. When I talk about maturity, your top guys, are the ones that you look at. Yeah, the balance and the scoring and all this stuff, but it's Mo Sider, and as he matures, this is how this team goes. Now, it takes a little bit longer for a physical guy than maybe like the talented guy like a McCarty coming out of with Colorado, but it's the same. I'm going to take the Hummer, and you can take the sports car. You know what I mean? More or less like that. How do you want it? And that this is your guy. So I'm happy with his development, and I know that the wings have to be too. So out of those two guys, the sure as heck that's going to get done is Mo Sider, right?
Yes.
100 million%.
And it's interesting to see people here in the chat. A lot of Ethan says Sider 8 times 8.5, so 8 for 70.
Perfect.
And then you set that up long term. The interesting one here, he says Raymond 7 by 7, 49. That one I think is a bit aggressive. And the reason I say that is because I will just base it off of what DeBrinket's sitting at right now with an average of 7.8.
So 6 for 7? You know what I'm saying?
6 per 7 years?
Yeah.
So and you're comfortable with that? Like you sign off on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's sort of like, because so let's look at this now and sort of production or where this team goes. If this is your guy and you're gonna you're gonna see this, right? I would expect Stevie to lock down his guys that are proven, like you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here, right? So, yeah, I mean,
so there's Lions vibes.
What's that?
There's Lions vibes to it.
100%, 100 million% in what it's building, and I think that more so than with the Lions, the Red Wings as a culture can go back, look at how we did it in the past, even though it's not the past, but you want to be here. Yeah, there's and people use the term hometown discount, but it's your the sacrificing a couple dollars to keep the foundation together to be able to take shots at the cup each year. That's why guys take less money, because it's like you're paying whatever you would make. That extra $1 million is sort of your fee to get a shot at a ring.
It's the cover charge to get in the club.
It's a cover charge to get in the club. And all the guys know that because they look around. And then, right, as you're building or before, because we're further along, but then you'll have guys, and I'm going to use Tyler Bertuzzi as an example, right, where the team's not here yet, and he makes it known that he wants to get paid, which everybody's entitled to, and he's not part of your process. So then he moves on and he goes and gets $1 instead of the guaranteed, sort of ticket to the dance, even though nothing's guaranteed. But you know what I'm saying, right? So it's more about who's in the way, and you can and that's the Lions, Red Wings sort of mentality. And guys, your guys will get paid, just like Goff's going to get paid, and Amon-Ra, Penne, Hutch, those guys. It's just figuring out. That's why you have to trust in the process of the guy making the decisions.
Because here's the deal with it, right? And it's easy to sit there and say, yeah, 8 for 8 for Mo Sider, done. Okay, that's cool. Lucas Raymond, 7 for 7 or 7 for 6 or whatever, done. All right, so they're carrying, and I'm just doing this right now to let everybody in. Next year they're sitting around $26 million in space. So we just spent 14 of that. So we got 12 left. People are clamoring for Gostosphere. Do you bring Kane back on?
Well, I think Kane is proven that he's moved up right behind, like in all honesty, is that if you're going to lock Mo Sider up, but Patrick Kane's more important to lock up than a restricted Lucas Raymond. You can still
see in D-Mac you can, there he is.
So that's the beauty of having a restricted guy, having a drafted guy, having guys come through your system. You got a little extra time, right? So and that's the communication. So you don't have to do this right now when you're trying to solidify everything else.
Right, but see, like these are
the conversations.
These are the conversations. I just wanted to prep everybody.
But here's the beauty. Oh my God, we gotta have these conversations. Oh my God, who's gonna make this? Hashtag watch play 1919. All right, we going golfing?
Yeah.
The weather getting nice this weekend. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I gotta worry about I gotta get to this pizza. This is where I gotta get in line to get my slice of pizza before the game because I can get there for warm up.
Yeah.
You gotta not worry
Neal,
about
is your boy still over there at Red Run?
Yeah,
Get us out.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it right after the show. But Spenny, I'm curious to get your take on it, man, because again, I'm not doing this to scare anybody or stuff like that. You're talking $26 million in space. You do the Raymond and you do the Cider.
Yeah.
Now that 26 becomes 13. You doing Kane? You doing Gostisbehere?
I don't think you do Gostisbehere. I think you let Ghost walk. I would like to see Kane get re-signed for sure. You can throw some at Perron as well, because Perron he's also a free agent, and he's been very instrumental to rebuilding this locker room and bringing that culture in here. So I think you throw some at Perron as well. But I don't think you got to do Ghost, because you got a couple of defensemen that are going to be ready to come up next year.
And there's that. And see, this is going to be, and that's why, and look, we're in it right now, and I'm not trying to bum the party out or anything like that.
And Sprong priced himself out, unfortunately. As good as he is, like with the year he's having, he's going to go get $6 million a year somewhere.
And later on, when we go back to this too, when D-Mac drops his little nugget on everybody, it's going to continue to make sense. Like, because, Spenny, I'll tell you this. Like, to hear you say that, I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I'm ignoring what I was just talking about here for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, these are facts. Like, there's not room for everybody, man. There's not.
No,
because
Spenny brings up such a great point, dude. And Neal, you started this because you know what? What do you have coming down the pipe? It's not like you're counting on these guys. These guys are sort of more expendable. You know, you look at, yes, they're valuable right now and they're part of this team, but you know, what's their motivation? And again, how does this organization view the Edvardsons and the Johanssons and the kid over in Sweden? All this stuff, like, right? What? Because right there, you're talking about Ghost, talking about the Pelinkan or whatever. What's his name?
Axel Sandin Palika.
Yeah, talking about him. There's your replacement.
Yeah.
And
That kid's-
with and dude, is he not have like Gostisbehere offensive defenseman vibes?
For sure.
So that's also to the plug and play. And you look at like a Daniel Sprong, you're not going to pay him $6 million, but if he wants to go out and get paid and worked off this year, he's more than likely. But you got the guy like a Carter Mazer and different guys coming down the pipe. You still got a Jonathan Berger in there. Maybe that's your backup plan. Who knows? But these are all things that Steve Yzerman, Sean Hartkoff, and Drapes, and all these guys talk about.
You got Berggren, and you also got Soderblom and Mazer and
forgot about
Kasper.
Soderblom.
Yeah, like that pipeline's flush, man.
I do agree with you.
Which, and to land the plane, D-Mac, like stuff that happened like yesterday with the Calgary and Dallas trade, those picks are valuable, man.
100%.
If you're going to be around for the long haul,
they're so much more valuable because of the guy who's got them, because he doesn't make unvalued picks or have unvalued guys in his organization. Spenny, I like what you said about Perron too, because locker room that's one of the things is I think more important than adding the talent on the ice is keeping this locker room and what they got going, the vibe, and that goes the same for the Lions.
Yeah, Kane and Perron are instrumental for that locker room.
100%. Look at the maturity of everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost like, shout out Dispo, CBD. It's almost like the CBD effect where it's just like, deep breath.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk some NFL Combine with our guy. Of course, you guys know him, you love him. Social media says that you love him. Montre Moore will be our guest when we come back, and we'll talk about the Combine process with a guy that went through all of that kind of stuff. So we'll have that for you when we come back. We'll continue the Wings discussion and the Lions discussion as well. Planet Fitness, everybody. We're live from the Planet Fitness studio. It's the best gym in the gym game. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I was there this morning getting in that long run today. Little 7 miles in there. But it's fine because there's tons of treadmills.
Yep.
There's tons of cardio equipment.
45 minutes a day.
Tons of weight. There it is, everybody. Spencer Raxter's in there pushing rhymes like weight. And you can do that at Planet Fitness because it's all there for you. 29 cents down because it's leap day today. $10 a month, get you access to your home club. Or get a black card, 29 cents down, $24.99 a month. Go to planetfitness.com today or pull in the parking lot. You'll pass a couple on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Mr. Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company's provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with the best beef in all the land. Yes, the prime beef, the dry-aged beef, the Wagyu beef, all of it. If you've had a good steak in this town, chances are good that it came from Fairway Packing Company. Guess what? You can do it too. Go to the Grab and Go Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Best ribeyes I ever had from my life. From that same from that same Grab and Go Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Got a couple ribeyes, brought them home, seasoned them up, dropped them on the grill. Incredible. You can do it too. Go to fairwaypacking.com today. All right, pulling up on the second hour of the show, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, JB Smoove here on a rehab assignment, Spencer Raxter as well, and all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And we've been talking about it. It is combine time. Ooh, yeah. And, of course, you know that we want to check in with our resident football guy. You guys know him. You guys love him. Demontre Moore, our guest, former Texas A&M football player, where he was an All-American, first-team SEC player, and a 9-year NFL veteran. Played with Eli Manning, Odell Beckham, Russell Wilson. Also played for Kyle Shanahan, Dan Campbell, Pete Carroll, just to name a few. He is our guy. Demontre, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Phenomenal intro as always. Thank you guys for having me. How are y'all doing this morning?
We're good. Well. We're good, my friend. We're absolutely doing well. No, but we love it. We love the energy. But Demontre, I wanted to check in with you about the combine. We talked about it. You were a high NFL draft pick in the third round. Just does it take you back when this time of year starts? Do you start thinking back to that time?
I definitely do, man. You can't do kind of have PTSD around this time every year. Going from being projected number 1, number 2 overall pick to falling and still being a blessing and being drafted in the third round as the 81st pick, I can't help but think about my time in that roller coaster of emotions that I went through and the current players are going to go through. We're going to see some guys rise to the top of the top and be like, hey, who is this guy, for example, like Tyler Smith with the Cowboys, who's an All-Pro this year. And then we're going to see some guys that we thought would have been in the top 10 pick, fall down, slip into the second, third round. So it's going to be a crazy experience. I'm excited to watch.
All right, talking with our guy, Demontre Moore. So I want to start right there, Demontre, and I'll get to DMAC in just a second. But how much pressure are these guys under when they run a sprint, when they do a bench press, when they do a shuttle run? How much pressure are these guys under? You were there.
It's a lot of pressure within itself when you think about all the things that can transpire and the good things that can happen and potential mistakes that can happen that will make you lose out from being a thousandaire to a millionaire and potentially changing generational wealth. So when you think about it from that standpoint, it is a lot of pressure in trying to impress somebody, but also it's not that much pressure. Thinking back to my time, I think we put so much emphasis on, hey, you got to do this and you have to be so perfect. You've been doing this for years now, day in and day out. You practice repetition. You should feel comfortable, and this should be something that is really easy to these guys, but the mental aspect is what adds the pressure to it and make this a more difficult process than what it really is.
Former NFL, CFL player, TV, radio, football personality, Amon-Ra. Always a pleasure talking to you. But from a guy who's had experience there, which drills translate? Like, which drills that we're watching, or, is it obviously the 40 for the speed and stuff like this, but which are the drills or the scores at the combine that you, in your opinion, really translate to the real game?
I think the drill work and the field work is what really translate over to the game. At the end of the day, you know as well as I do, being a former athlete yourself, nothing replicates that in-game simulation going against somebody else. But the closest thing we're going to have is that drill work. You going over those bags, you catching the ball, throwing with people in your face. That's the closest thing we're going to get to seeing a lot of these young men in action. But the 40 is cute, it's for glitz and glamours, jumping and stuff like that. But you know as well as I do, you go in that weight room, how many guys have we seen throw up a crazy amount of weight or jump out of this world, but then it can't correlate over to the field. It doesn't transfer over. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a great tester, but he's not a great gamer. And the game is what is the most important thing. That's what gets you paid right here. So the drill work is going to be the closest replication that you might have an inkling of saying, hey, this guy might be ready to compete at the next level, but there's nothing like actually putting on that helmet and getting out there. So that's the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to this process.
Amon-Ra, our guest. Follow him on Instagram at DeMonster98 and also Timor94 on Twitter as well. Played for Dan Campbell, former Detroit Lion as well. But Amon-Ra, again, talking about the NFL Combine. By the way, thank you for putting that myth out there, putting that myth to rest about this whole 40-time thing. Why does everybody love it so much, man? And I've heard this. I heard it from you. I've heard it from people before. Like, it's just like it's a made-for-TV event. That's it. But everybody loves it. Why is that?
Man, it's definitely a made-for-TV event. That is a phenomenal question. Like, I ask myself all the time, why is it? I had a strength and conditioning coach who's he was my coach in college, but he's the strength and conditioning coach for the Cleveland Browns right now, Larry Jackson. He had the best explanation that he can give for it. He said, man, I'm going to be real with you. A 40 is cute, but at any point in time that somebody is running more than 40 yards in a game, then my job isn't being done. You as a defense gave up too many yards, and you as an offense, yes, you're going to have an explosive play, but an explosive play is 10 yards. When are you really going to be able to see somebody have a 40-yard just get out, all-out sprint? So, yes, top-end speed is good, but some people can get in their top-end speed within 5 yards. Some people take 20, 30 to build up, but at no point in time it does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it's very rare, seldom, that you're just going to see this 40-yard sprint unless it's a kickoff or kick return to special teams. So as far as the way that we measure it and, because he ran a 4.3 or he ran a 4.32, like, yes, it looks cute that he ran fast, but can he do that with pads on? Can he do that with somebody chasing him? Like, that's where it really is. Then I'll be impressed.
Amon-Ra, the angle of the combine I'm most fascinated with, and it really seems, I think, to have the most impact, the interview process. Can you tell? I'm fascinated by this, and I don't know anything about it. Can you tell me what that process is like? Do they bring you up to a suite in the stadium? What kind of questions are they asking you?
Man, it's like going down Radio City Music Hall on Super Bowl weekend, and you're on Media Row. You're in this hotel, and every team has their own room that they didn't rent out. At least at the time that I was there, it was 2013. It was in Indy. But they rent out this hotel, and each team has a suite, and you come in there, and when you sit down, there's different setups. You have your screens there and this and that, and you have all your important bigwigs of whatever team is going to be there, and they're going to be asking you questions. You're going to be a room full of 8 to 10 people, maybe even more, depending on the interest and the level of it, and that is the most strenuous part, to go out there, not only work out and be picked and pried upon and stuff like that, but now this is the real test, the mental aspect, where they can break you down, really get to find the player and really just dive in. You don't. The only time that they have to get to know you on a personal level besides what they hear from other people, besides the film that they see, is right here in this interview. So depending on who you're going with, some people interview process is very in-depth. I can think back to my time I got drafted by the Giants. I think they have one of the most strenuous, at least at that time, and they probably still do, but they do a strenuous background check to where you're filling out this therapeutic report and they're asking you stuff about stuff you did in the second grade. Somebody's about to invest thousands, potentially millions into you, and they want to know, especially nowadays, what is your mental where is your mental capacity as far as understanding not only the playbook, but as we've seen time and time again, let's start to get to know the person and get to know the player so we can best help them to perform on the field, but also bring somebody great into the community. Because if the community doesn't love you, it's all downhill. It goes within hand in hand, and you have to know what you're getting when you're getting this player. So it's a strenuous process, just like my answer was strenuous. That process is very strenuous and long.
So here's my question to you, because you're just over 10 years removed from the process. If you were going to talk to a young guy that asked you for advice going into it, what would your advice be as far as how to attack the process? How to attack it as far as not even just the interview, but the whole process?
That is a great question. The advice that I would want to receive, especially at that time, now going through it, I would want somebody to really tell me that's been there and been at the level that I want to, is to relax. Like, I heard an old cliche a few years after I was in the league, but coming from Texas, high school football is everything for us. So it's really important for you to make varsity. Then not only do you make varsity and become the guy, it's like really important for you to go get a full scholarship. Now that you have a full scholarship knocking at your door, not only is it full scholarship, is it D1 AA, is it Division I, big school, major. And with all that added pressure at each level, you were able to succeed and get there. And now you're at this level. The competition gets bigger, faster, and stronger. Well, guess what? You've gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. Your team around you has prepared you to do this. So just relax, go in there, be an athlete, do that, and just be a good person. Don't come over there and try to overthink it and talk over their head, because every answer that you think that you're going to say, plenty of people have said it before you. This league has been around for 100 years now, and we're talking about all type of characters. We're talking about characters from Peyton Manning to Deion Sanders to Chase Young to all the guys in Brock Purdy within themselves. They done seen from spectrum from left to right. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. Just be yourself, and the faster that you can be yourself and be genuine, those people can know what they're really getting and know how to handle you just like you can know how to handle them.
All right, Demontre, last one, and then we'll get you on your way there. Appreciate the time, as always, that you give us here. Dan Campbell is your guy. One of the more viral clips we ever had was you hyping up Dan Campbell, and you said he's built for this, and it turns out you were exactly right. So I have to ask you about the Lions and the talk around here in town in Detroit, how this year's going to be so much tougher than last year. Tell me the difference between being the underdog and being the hunted. What changes?
A lot of things can change within that realm and that aspect. The one thing that I can say with Lions fans that y'all don't have to worry about is Dan Campbell. He's not going to change. His mantra's not going to change. You have to hope that the team can buy in, but realize that, hey, we got a target on our back now. Going from being the underdog, is cute. It's tough. People don't expect you to win, and then when you do, you're surprised, and it's like, hey, okay, watch out. But when you become the big dog, now it's like, hey, everybody is biting at you, from the biggest dog to the littlest dog, and the person that you least expect, that's the one that's going to get you. And so with that target being bigger, you have to embrace it and relish in the moment and say, hey, that last year wasn't a fluke. Now that y'all know that we're coming and we beat y'all, and then we can beat y'all, which y'all know that we're coming, we're a force to be reckoned with, and this dynasty has been reawoken. So this is going to be the prove-it year, and if there was anybody to rise up to that challenge, Dan Campbell is going to get those guys motivated. Now they just have to buy in and just realize, hey, don't sip the Kool-Aid, don't sip the tea. Just like you have that 24-hour rule. Bask in it, learn from it, and then it's time to go on and realize, like, hey, this is a whole new year and we got a whole new stride. We need to bring that same intensity, but let's have the snowball effect. Let's keep the momentum going. And if they can keep that going, man, the Lions are going to be dangerous for years to come.
All right, there it is. Demontre, appreciate your time. As always, you got Darren McCarty over here putting the helmet on. He's ready to go. We appreciate you, my friend. We're gonna check back in soon around the draft time, all right?
Definitely will, man. Thank y'all for having me as always. Can't wait to see what happens.
All right, there he is, everybody. Demontre Moore, former Detroit Lion, played for Dan Campbell, Kyle Shanahan, Pete Carroll, all SEC first teamer, former NFL draft pick. He was All-American. He did it all. He's done it all in the game of football. Won a Grey Cup. That carries extra weight here.
Yes, it does.
On Big D Energy. Big Grey Cup show this one is. So, yeah, I love chatting. I was always curious about that, the interview process.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a big thing. And I think that's great advice, too. Is that, especially the NFL or, coming up on the NHL and stuff like this, 100 years around, they've heard everything. So just be yourself.
And our audience here, as we get ready to go to the break, our audience keeping their form as well. Let's go Red Wings Party. Do not let fanatics get a hold of the Combine outfit. So
I thought you were going to go with Silky Johnson saying that the 40-yard dash is the bosoms. You just can't. You got to stare at it. You just can't help but stare at them. The bosom.
Demontre Moore, also big anime guy.
That is true.
Big anime guy, yeah.
Oh, Dude, we gotta let you.
We got next time. We gotta let Spenny get an anime.
That's on me.
We'll
include an anime
selfish.
question.
Quit asking about Dan Campbell and stuff, getting me all fired up. We could have got a Spenny anime.
My bad.
Segment.
It's all right. It's all good.
My apologies.
I can't hear
to
him
you.
anyways. So
it's my apologies to you.
That's fair.
We'll get that in next time. We'll give a Spencer Raxter inspired anime question. Tell them about Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Good news and bad news, folks. We're going to start with the bad news. Insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan, but the good news is Swiss Insurance, they're here to help right now. More than ever is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in the extra fees or raise your deductibles. Call my buddy Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 248-800-4177, or visit SwissINS.com and tell them Woodward Sports, we sent you.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
All right, guys, football season's over, even though it's going to start again in about 10 days, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Work with me here. Spring training is underway. Jack Labrador's always underway. That's right, 24/7, 365. The Jack Labrador train, it never stops. Go to jacklabrador.gg. Learn to play on your phone right now. You hear us talking about it. You hear us talk about us playing it at the network. Look at it for yourself. Scan the QR code on your screen. 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Remember, once you go Jack, you never go back. This will be your next card game that you can't get enough of. Go to jacklabrador.gg right now. Do it right now. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Big shout out to Annie H. Hoffman for hooking us up with Demontre Moore, as we always do. Guy's fun to talk to, man.
Yes,
I love Demontre, man. Good dude.
Awesome.
Very entertaining guy.
Yeah.
Very good guy.
Very good guy, absolutely. So,
And he likes anime.
and he likes anime.
So that gives you extra chops in my book.
Yep. JD Pesto, Neal, your hat is on a little crooked, player. We tighter now?
There you go. Yep.
All right, we're tight now. All right, there you go. Thanks. Appreciate it. If ever something's wrong, I can count on you guys to point it out. So you guys certainly do. You guys certainly
don't miss a
do
beat.
that. Yes. But yeah. Anakin wants to know, Spenny, what does meat missile mean?
He sees and attacks like a missile, and he's a beefy dude. So he's a meat missile.
Exactly.
Coined by the heavies, right?
Yep.
Which is exactly what you
Easy
meant.
did not like it. Easy tried to fight it for a long time. He did not want to call it meat missile, but it stuck.
it
Yeah,
did.
because Easy wanted that nickname.
Yeah, that's fair.
It did absolutely stick. I know that Dan Campbell has added some coaches to the coaching staff, and because we just talked to DeMontre, who is a big Dan Campbell guy, it's funny because we talk all the time about Brad Holmes and drafting players and how he said it himself. Not everybody can play for the Lions. You know what I'm starting to think, D-Mac? That not everybody can be a coach for the Lions either. Because
no, you gotta like the one thing DeMontre said there at the end is the one thing you can be consistent on is Dan Campbell is gonna be consistent to who he is and his message. And the one thing that we know, and I've said this all from day one, is the fact that look at the coaching staff he's put together of ex-players, guys that are respected, that work their ass off as hard as their coach. You have to match his work ethic. And we all know he drinks 87 coffees a day, double espresso and stuff like this, got a big dipper in. That's listen, my favorite thing is when I pulled up the clip and he gets up on the podium or whatever and he's got a big chaw dog in there. And it's just like, you don't give a fuck. Right? Like, this is going to work. And that's the type of guys that, like, that is so Detroit mentality, just get her done. And to your point, Neal, the coaching staff. But look at the guys that he's bringing in. And, you know, the defensive line coach, right, from the Titans. He was under Vrabel's system. Like, you not only attract free agents, obviously, you know, draft picks and stuff, like guys that you want, but also the coaches that's another layer of it because it's part of the culture. So he's building, that's his team, right? That's pretty much his 11 guys that he's building behind the scenes to make them the best in the league. If you ask him, I guarantee, Broder ask him, do you look at like, you know, your coaching staff is sort of like your Jared Goff and that's your 11 guy? Yeah, absolutely. And he might just say, no, Ben Johnson's my quarterback. You know, I'm Frank Ragnow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I expect. Or I'm Penei Sewell. But the point being, and it's the Hank Fraley's and the Randall L's and all the guys that have been there, Shepherds, and, you know, all these different, the different guys that have helped him. AG, this is only, I saw this, right? Making Aaron Glenn better. We all, you know, how many people complain about AG and different points? Well, you add defensive coaches that'll help the game plan, will help Aaron Glenn be a better defensive coordinator. Is that not, do you guys not see it that way also?
I do.
I mean, you look at it, you know, I guess I'm going to keep with the theme about Lions and Wings, you know, props to Alex Tanguay, Bob Bugner, the coaching staff, to whatever, the way the power play and the penalty kill, you know, the penalty killing are producing for the Red Wings. That's coaching. And it takes a little bit of time to sink in, but, you know, more so than not, the culture of the Lions, and it comes from the work ethic of the coach. They won't be outworked. When their coaches won't be outworked by other teams' coaches, it sets a precedence. And it's easy. As a guy that was a cog in the wheel, it's so easy when it flows like that, because then there's no question. It's the old military spec. The 10 things are done this way, no matter what. If you're next in line, pick up the slack.
So, D-Mac, I heard Joe Dumars talk about it one time where he said a team can't win with no identity. He said you've never seen it. You'll never see it. A team has to have an identity to win. And
more so than not, right, in football, your identity comes from your coach, right? A lot of times,
and your quarterback,
and your quarterback.
Yeah.
But it's sort of there's got to be a relationship there, right? In hockey, I could say, you know, your captain, right? You know, but your coach has to have an influence, you know, some sort of thing. Like I always said that, you know, Scotty Bowman, the greatest psychologist, because his thing was us versus him, but it was putting so that he would make us all together. And if we all hated him, but we were all on the same page, right? Because he liked to collect rings. That's just facts, right? So it made us stronger together. But you need a buffer in every different ways. Like and in the 90s, it's done differently, right? Where you have Scotty Bowman, who's the head, right, the general, and then you have Dave Lewis and Barry Smith, who are the assistant coaches, and Dave Lewis is the players guy that you can talk to and sort of get your message through, and Barry Smith is Scotty's voice, right, where it just everything comes from Barry, from Scotty. Scotty doesn't talk to you directly. He'd stand behind you and yell at you to Barry, and when he was done, Barry would go, "Did you get that? Shut up, Barry." You know, like, whatever, you think I'm stupid, I can't hear. He's standing right behind, like, you know, and we, you know, he was sort of.
He had a layer below and above, right?
That's it, like the firmament.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. I'm going to call an audible. D-Mac's got a Red Wings thing. I want to do that coming up at about 12:36. I want to do D-Mac's Red Wings thing about 12:36. Maybe take a look ahead to the Islanders game tonight and stuff like that. I'm calling an audible though. I got my first draft itch today when I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, because you run for 7 miles, you're on the treadmill for a while, and they were talking the top of the draft. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Just like your instant reactions to the top of the draft. And for once, we're not involved in the son of a bitch, all right? So, like, we can take a look at it.
Look at how gun shy, right? It's like you don't want to talk draft. You're like trying to hold off as long as possible because we haven't done it. No, Neal, it is absolutely. You want to talk top of the draft? Let's talk.
Because I got something
because it affects. It really does affect Chicago having the number 1 pick, what they're going to do with Justin Fields and stuff like this. And they're going to go.
And there's that angle.
There is some sort of effect. But also, too, what you said. Take this break and enjoy the fact that we're not talking about us at the top of the draft.
Absolutely. Right after you're done thinking about Big Boy, everybody. That's right, because Seafood Fest is back. Catch it while you can. Dive into the fish and chips, their new Parmesan-crusted cod, and perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. A Big Boy must try the new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to the popcorn shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy. And yes, Spencer, don't forget every Friday night the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet.
Oh yeah.
Post up, Spenny.
I'm a smelt guy.
Smashing it.
Smell is really good.
Yes, it is. Especially when it's all you can eat smell.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Guys, Seafood Fest, Big Boy, Spenny's giddy. Let's go to your local Big Boy today. Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's up, everybody? Don't forget Wake Up Woodward every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Young Bucks, Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, they got you covered every single morning right here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's a new morning show for you to consume with Wake Up Woodward, 8 to 10 a.m. every day right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl and D-Mac, JB Smoove on a rehab assignment. He pulled a hamstring. He'll be back up to the major soon. We have Spencer Raxter, Racks on Racks on Racks as well. I just wanted to call an audible, and I got the temperature of the room, and people said to go ahead and go for it. Aaron said, Neal, I missed yours, D-Mac, and Spenny's top 5 cheese list. Just curious, did Kraft Singles make any of the list? No. Those yummy pasteurized AF squares are fire. They are not, Aaron.
They're
and
not.
they were on nobody's list.
Government cheese.
I gave them credit. Like, you want to put a Kraft Single in some scrambled eggs or grilled cheese?
Because it
That's
melts.
fine. The melt factor. But you eat a cold Kraft Single, you're a lunatic.
An absolute animal.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Aaron. I hope you checked in on the podcast, by the way. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast. No, Dan Wood, there was no mention of, quote, pink snapper for fish fry, all right? Nor will there be.
Hey, doesn't got to be Friday for some pig snapper.
All right, anyway, NFL draft.
Talk to me.
You guys done?
Talk to me. Top of the draft.
All right.
What's going on up there?
And look, we've been holding off on it. I've been holding off on it, and just I got the itch today to talk draft. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. All right. Top of the draft. We're not involved. That's number one. We're not, as of yet, we're not involved. D-Mac and Spenny, just anyone in the room. Wait, what's your impression of the top of the NFL draft this year?
Well, I mean, I'm obviously interested with what Chicago's going to do because of in our division. Are they trading Fields? Are they going with Caleb Williams? Are they moving down, moving up? I mean, that sort of interest because it affects our division. Other than that,
what do you want to see? How do you want to see it go?
How do I want to see it go? I'd let you know what I think that they might trade it.
They might trade Fields?
Trade
out
of the pick. Right?
Yeah, that's what I don't want to happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that would be
yeah, no, but that's what I think the smartest decision for them to make would be, but I really don't know. That's why I'm interested, and I don't think it. It's one of these things. Is it going to be the run of quarterbacks at the beginning? Is it these guys? It's sort of how does this sort of play out? I'm still more interested in this the free agency period, franchising period, stuff like this, just to get an inkling more of where we're going to go. But again, I guess it's what's the worst case scenario. I guess when we look at the top of the draft, what's the worst case scenario for the Lions? And you and I and Spenny, you agree, JB, you agree too, is that we want them to pick Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah, Motown Cool says trade Fields is the best for the Lions. I agree with that. Spenmo, where you sit on it, man?
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't want them to trade that first pick because that would just be, if they could get 6 first round picks and 2 drafts. Yeah.
I'm just thinking because. Sorry, the fact that is Caleb Williams that much of a like? I guess maybe I'm not sold on Caleb Williams as the next coming.
Nor
of
am I.
Anything else. So I guess again, big decision. Like this is monumental decision. Which direction they go? Chicago has to make right now, isn't it? They're sort of at the fork in the road to which way are they going to go?
Yeah, what were you going to say, Spenny?
I was just going to say, if they could get 6 first-round picks and 3 drafts, like that would be insane for them. But I'm also like, I'm not downplaying Caleb Williams either. I think he's going to be really good. But having a rookie quarterback is going to put the timeline back a little bit. I think they would be better off with Justin Fields for this year, but in the future, Caleb Williams is the better choice.
And I'm along that same ilk. I don't believe in Caleb Williams the same way that a lot of people do. For me, and you guys know, I've been on this for a long time, and now slowly but surely I'm starting to hear the pundits talk about it. You guys know I'm a Jaden Daniels guy. Thought he was electric. He was far and away, in my mind, the best college football player in college football last year. It took a minute for everybody to warm up to it, but then when you saw, he was one of, if not the best passers in college football. And, oh, by the way, ran for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns, too. Like, he to me is somebody, I'll die on that hill, that I think Jaden Daniels will be the best player in this NFL draft.
I agree with you. I think his game translates to the way that this NFL is refereed, is called, and stuff like this. And you bring up a great point, is that I think that was the apparentness, is we knew that, he could scramble and be, a dual threat quarterback, but the biggest thing is that his arm's actually better than his legs.
Right.
And he's an
1,100-yard guy in college.
So think about that.
And Nate Edgington in the Woodward Sports Chat. He says 6 first round picks is crazy talk. If they traded out of the first round pick to get 2, they would have had 6 in the past 3 years.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they've already had 4 in 2 years. So
They got
having
2
2 more
now.
this year would be insane.
And if they trade, like they'll get another one.
Yeah, they got 2 this year. They had 2 last year.
They'll have 2 next year.
They'd have 2 next year if they traded out of Caleb Williams.
And they have
another one.
And they have all that money, right? And they have
Yeah.
they have like over 100 million, don't they?
Yeah, I just again, I've been told to fear the Packers, and I don't fear the Packers as much as I fear the Bears. The only saving grace with the Bears is it's the Bears running it, and they'll find a way to screw it up. But that's my hope at this point. You know what I'm saying? You can't, the way you sit as an organization right now can't be better than what the Bears, like of all the crappy teams, even mid teams in the NFL, the Bears are in the best spot.
Yes.
You can't deny that.
That's right now until they make which way, this fork in the road, which way they go, right? And this determines them moving forward, and we'll have to wait and see if they make the right decision.
I will say there was a video of Justin Fields in his kitchen or his living room or something, like jumping up and down, really excited, and you hear his agent say, like, "You ready to go home?" Because he's from Atlanta.
I saw that video too.
So him on the Falcons.
My thing with the Bears is too, like, and here, if they do end up trading him, D-Mac, to me it will be classic Bears, because I'm of the opinion, like, as far as leverage goes, and maybe I'm wrong with this, I think every day that goes by, you lose a little bit of your leverage if you're the Bears.
But it's also too, isn't Fields on a rookie contract?
Yes.
So isn't that enticing and incentive-wise in dealing with this guy? But I'm just thinking of what don't I want the Bears to do? I don't want the Bears to trade Fields, trade back in the draft, get those picks, and be able to pick up Jane Daniels. That'd be the worst case scenario.
And D-Mac, to land the plane, that's what I was going to get at, because I heard the pundits talking about that, and they're like, guys, and there are some respected people that, you know, that carry some weight. Their name carries some weight. They were saying, for all the Caleb Williams to Chicago with minus 10,000s that are out there, they're like, keep an eye on Jaden Daniels, man. Like, he's climbing up the board, and I just think he's going to be the best he's going to be the best player in this draft. I believe that.
Wouldn't you just right off consider, if you put him in the Bears' backfield, that he's a more polished? I know that Justin Fields has more NFL snaps, but more of a polished Justin Fields.
Yes, yes.
That's what scares me, is that they're able to trade, say to Atlanta, trade Fields, get a haul back to be able to know the fact that somebody wants Caleb Williams, that they'll move up, they can move back and still get their guy with all their. Wow, like that's why it goes, is that, you know, Chicago can really set themselves up for success right now. This is their moment, right? There's never going to be a bigger moment for them. Is there?
No.
As far as organizational
this
decisions.
is their defining moment.
Yeah.
This is their and it's rare too that it's so overt. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyone can point, any football fan can point to this moment in time for the Bears and say, this will dictate your franchise's fate. This singular draft will either make you or break you. And maybe it won't. Like, we overstate that, I guess. Because I guess you could say the same when the 49ers traded all that assets for Trey Lance. And you could say, this is a seminal moment for this organization, and it didn't matter at all.
Yeah. But San Fran was set up, built differently. Where you know, like, that's one of those things, is that they were all in, that this is their guy, and they missed. Right? But everything, like, the Bears aren't positionally set up the way that San Fran was to be able to have that miss. But financially, they are.
There's those vibes, though, too, because remember, too, Spenny, your guy, Tremaine Edmonds, I always go back to this.
Yeah.
Remember, they gave him so much money and you're the biggest slappy. You were like, nah.
Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, I like what the Bears are building. I'd like them with Fields. I'd like them with Williams. I don't think Like, I like Justin Fields personally.
I do too.
And I think he's going to be very good if he goes to Atlanta and they get I don't know who their offensive coordinator is now, but they got weapons over there. So we'll see. I like Caleb Williams as well. So I don't think the Bears could really go wrong here, but I do tend to lean towards Caleb Williams because I think he's more talented, and you reset the rookie contract if you draft Caleb Williams.
Yeah, either way, whatever quarterback you end up coming out of there with, it's just I don't like the vibes from Caleb. It seems like a lot like the talk where I don't want to go to Chicago. Oh, now it doesn't matter. It's just I don't know. The good players you tend to not hear that from. You know what I'm saying? Like the good players just want to go play ball.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed anyway.
And side note off of the topic, just random thought. Michigan State baseball beat Georgia 19-6 yesterday. So
Big Ten stand up.
Yeah, Big Ten stand up. Shooters in the socks. Won a couple games.
How'd that end for you? How'd it end for you?
Very, very, very stumbling walk home. I'll say that.
There you go. Absolutely.
Got to sneak a couple JD shooters down the socks.
Got to get right.
I went to a couple baseball games when I was there. It was fun.
Got to get right, man.
Yeah.
Got to get right. If you need your hair to get right, where do you go?
There's only one place to go. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Get an award-winning haircut experience. Also register to win a trip of your dreams, all expense paid suite to the 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. LesStanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Right now, it is time to announce. I'm Neal Ruhl, by the way. That's Darren McCarty. JB Smooth here on a rehab assignment. He'll be gone soon. Don't worry. Spencer Raxter, Racks on. Hey, he's going back to the show.
It's true, yeah.
The tall buildings, the big per diems.
Yeah, sorry about your per
bright
diem.
Lights. Big cities, pretty ladies, JB Smooth.
You know it.
You know it, absolutely. Right now it is time to announce our winner of our Wings Wednesday giveaway. And yes, you can be involved. Make sure you follow Woodward Sports on all of our social media channels. Every Wednesday we have a Red Wings themed giveaway that we're doing. And congratulations to viewer on Twitter at Ava_5225 at Ava_5225.
And it was her birthday the other day. So
There you go, Ava.
There you
happy
go.
birthday,
Ava.
too.
Congratulations, you have won an autographed Darren McCarty puck just for being a fan of Woodward Sports.
Absolutely. We're doing, get ready for fire up for this playoff run. Wings Wednesday giveaways. So stay tuned next Wednesday too, so everybody can register and win just like Ava did. Something new next week.
There you go.
Can I register to win?
No.
Damn.
Also, too, want to give a shout out to all the veterans listening down at the Detroit VA today. Big Darren McCarty people down there. I was
love
told.
those guys, man.
Yep.
Thank you for allowing us to do this. But props to everybody downtown and wherever you are if you served. So we do love and appreciate you.
Cleaning up the draft discussion. Taylor Shant says, I think the NFC North as a whole will look real scary for the next few years. Alex Haggerty, I fear what the Bears could be. I don't think I fear what they will be. They don't have Brad Holmes drafting for them. If they did, holy ish. But then Louis Bishop says the Bears are a clown organization. So
we'll find out.
You get enough draft picks, man.
And money.
And money.
And money to mess it, right? Like overpaying for Tremaine Edmonds ain't nothing. So we'll see.
Francis Garcia says next show needs to be on the old Babalo Island boat. Is that thing still around? I don't know if it is or not.
I didn't see it when I drove across. Maybe it's underneath the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Yes. But yeah, so that is all of that. D-Mac, you had a little because it's Red Wings Islanders tonight, and it's a big game.
I want
big game.
So just a little bit peel the curtain back. When I get up in the morning and turn on Fox 2 to see our boy Ryan Ermanni and stuff like this, and I grab the old phone and go through the emails and check, see how many texts and phone calls I missed and stuff like this, and get on the old Twitter machine. And what I love about game days, and if maybe you have it too, if you don't follow Ken Cal, the voice of the Red Wings, if you don't follow his Twitter, I encourage you to, because every day he puts out something, usually with breakfast, but he's got the program and he's got the stat sheet and it shows you who's playing. So today, when I pulled it up and I looked at it like this, and please take a look at this. So this is your Red Wings on the left and your Islanders on the right. Okay? Now we have 72 points. They have 62 points. They have 5 games in hand. But what I want you to do is just look at the balance of scoring, stats, guys with numbers, different things like that on your team, right? Double digit. Then look on the other side and look at other than you can pretty much tell who their first line guy or who their productive guys are, all the way down to role players and stuff like this. That's so dangerous. And this is more of the norm of what you have, the balance throughout. And you can get as specific, you can go flannel on it if you want. But what I'm saying is that you look at the balance and the scoring, the points, the plus minus different on your team compared to a team like the Islanders that you're battling against. When I see this, Neal, it is absolutely no question that it's 2 points or bust tonight against this team, because they are trailing you, but you see the balance of that. Don't let a guy, right? You're going to let a guy with 5 goals all year ruin what you have built here. So looking at this, just it bounced out not only how good and how balanced and how set up more so for this late season run into the playoffs, but a playoff run and a team you don't want to play against. And this is more the norm of what other teams deal with, the imbalance. Because you know what that looks like? That looks like your lineup sheet 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
That's how close you are. And so, embrace that, but also, too, looking at it, you're going to let this team get in your way to what you want to accomplish? I think not. So I noticed that this morning, and it jumped out on me.
What about Noah Dobson, by the way?
Yeah.
53 assists, 7 goals.
Yeah.
Did you see McDavid's on pace for 130 something assists? I think?
He's averaging 2 points a game since December.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what? Okay,
Hyman's on pace
Neal,
for 56
go back
goals.
to say, what is Connor McDavid? Not only the best player in the league, the best player with the biggest gap distance between him and the next top player.
Well, The Athletic today was talking about it's as close of a race as it's ever been for the Hart Trophy.
Between him and
Matthews.
Kucherov.
Yeah. Kucherov, Matthews, and McDavid.
Probably. Oh, Matthews, yeah. Matthews gets to 75.
Yeah.
I don't care 130. Because there's also this, like, the Gretzky rub or whatever like this, is that everybody, it's Connor McDavid, yeah, you're supposed to get 2 points a game. They don't take it into reality of how hard or what the accomplishment is. The fact that somebody hits 75 goals, I think they give it to Austin Matthews. But you know what that also doesn't mean? it doesn't get you anything in the playoffs. You all start back at 0.
That is true. Noah Dobson, 12th overall pick in the 2018 draft. Who was the GM of the Red Wings in 2018 draft?
Ken Hall?
I believe he was, correct? Yzerman started 2019?
Yep.
Mo Sider was his first.
So the Red Wings at number 6 took Filip Zadina. Right in front of Quinn Hughes, who went at 7, and Noah Dobson went 12th. 6'4", 200-pound defenseman from Canada.
No, they got some good players on their team. Just a few. You watch Matt Barzal. You know.
Yeah,
Nelson,
well, it was funny because I was looking at their.
You shut up, but what I'm saying is you focus in and you shut down their scorers. Are you going to let the Cal Clutterbucks and the Matt Martins and the Cizikas and the guys throughout their roster that don't have 5 goals this year beat you?
Right, and I was looking at that list of their players. I'm like, how are they good? But then you start, and that there's a trigger, right? Like,
got a great goalie.
When I look at a basketball box score, I can kind of predict what the numbers are. You know, if a team shoots well and they lose by double digits, I'm like, oh, turnovers got to be north of 18, and pretty much every time they're north of 18. It's kind of like that too when I look at the Islanders roster and their points and all that stuff. Like, man, they must be good on the blue line. And then I look, and
absolutely,
there they are.
And great goaltending.
And great goaltending. There it is. Just to give some context, too, for the game tonight, if the Red Wings do get the win, they will be 12 points clear of the Islanders with roughly 22 games to go. So they would have, in essence, a 6-game lead with 22 games to go over the Islanders, which pretty much closes down the club for them, I would think.
Let's go.
So
let's go.
You see what now, and if you're crossing the Islanders off the list, that means you've already crossed the Sabres off the list, which means the Penguins, if they're moving Gunsel on those guys, they're off the list. Then you pretty much only have left the Capitals and the Devils. You see how it starts to shrink quickly?
Oh yeah, and then notice what you're doing. What I told you. Worry about the teams behind you, not the teams ahead of you.
There it is. So. Can't wait. James says, I just want to see that puss flop onto the ice tonight. Spencer, you want to see some puss?
I want to see some puss flop tonight for sure.
And you want the Red Wings to win, too.
And I also want the Red Wings to win.
Hey, yo!
Tell them about Dispo.
He's sure consistent, Spenny. Just like I'm consistent with Visit Dispo Dispensary today for exclusive new deals and experience a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere rich with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Save the date. For 420 at Dispo Dispensary, Dispo's putting on epic events at all locations. Stay tuned for more details. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com. Your local cannabis plug.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Hey, everybody, you can meet Big D Energy. Hey, that's us at the Michigan Green Industry Association event brought to you by Alta Equipment. Myself, D-Mac, will be there live Tuesday, March 5th from 11 to 1 p.m. Stop by the Suburban Collection Showplace on Grand River in Novi. Say hi and talk Detroit sports. D-Mac will talk to you. He'll go off the air and go talk to you because that's the way that D-Mac works, everybody.
I got you.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the role. Don't forget, too, all the latest products from technologies and services from all the exhibitors there, lawn and landscape equipment, snow equipment, nursery stock chemicals, irrigation, water. If you have a yard, everybody, it's worth your time to stop on by. Lighting, too. I want to get some LED set up for the deck. I want to make that cool. I want it to go to the beat of the music, too. Would that be too much, Spenny? Probably too much for the association.
A little too much,
At Darren, Washington. That's more of a centerline thing,
yeah.
Spenny?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All of that and much more. The Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment and Big D Energy. See you out there. Final segment of the show. Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl and D-Mac, JB Smoove. He'll be paroled from the show in about 6 minutes. Spencer Raxter as well. I am going to tell you guys this for the Wings Islanders game, D-Mac. And you know that I don't like to be the bearer of bad news. It's just the way that I see things sometimes. And the line really concerns me tonight.
What is the line?
Red Wings are minus 115. The Islanders minus 105. It's basically a pick 'em. I don't like that. That seems way too easy.
The book likes the Islanders.
Yeah.
On the road?
Yeah. You got to lay money on the Islanders at LCA going up against this buzzsaw.
All right. You know what you want? Are you going to allow Patrick Waugh to come in here with this team and derail what you have going after everything that I told you? You know what? That's old behavior. I don't think so. I don't even have to raise my voice because you know what? I think that's the easiest 115 to take to the bank. I'm sorry. It's not tonight, Mr. Barzal.
You're calling it.
I'm calling it. We're rolling. This is going to be, we're going to keep rolling. And I know that's sort of flying in the face of the sun after putting up 8 goals. I just think these guys are feeling it, and they know exactly what's at hand. Everything that I brought up, they listen to the show before they go have their nap, and then they're going to go back in there and take care of business. But Patrick Waugh not coming into LCA and beating this Wings team. Final.
All right. And because I'm not going to lie to you, D-Mac, when I saw it, I double-clutched a couple of times. And you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. This is the one where you just don't.
I'll
you just
sit it out.
Sit it out.
Yeah.
Sit back, and you let me throw the karma, right? Because
Okay.
I'm just going to remind the hockey gods that it is Patrick Waugh. And whenever he comes to Detroit, no matter what, we do not treat him well with the W's. No,
Okay.
He leaves with L's.
Just as a heads up, if they do win tonight, I'll give you a preemptive. The Florida Panthers will be a get-right on Saturday, just so everybody knows.
And that one would probably be absolutely.
Just so everybody knows.
Yep. No, and I wouldn't blame you for that. So in saying that, Neal, does it make sense that if I'm the team and I'm looking, okay, I got the Islanders and then I got Florida Saturday afternoon, I'm going to make sure I get these 2 points. and then the 2 points Saturday, if you do lose it, it's not ideal, but you can deal with it.
DNC ENT overtime plus 285. I think I'm riding. Okay. Get it in there. Get it in there. But yeah, I think that about does it for today. D-Mac, you're out tomorrow, correct?
I am.
Okay.
I'll see you guys on Tuesday at the Suburban, and everybody comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday. That's right.
Come on,
out.
talk to me. We don't even have to do the show.
Yeah, I'll carry it.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
What's new?
For D-Mac, for JB Smoove, and for Spencer Raxter, I'm Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.